JonSnow versus Select. TVZ on Whirlwind. Hey, we got the UI working. I apologize for that, guys. In the top right-hand position as the red Zerg, it is JonSnow, the Zerg North American player who has recently risen to some pretty good prominence. I think he's showing a lot of promise. I look forward to seeing how he does in the future. In the top left-hand corner, as the blue Terran, it is Dignitas Select, the Dota 2 professional.
StarCraft 2 professional.
StarCraft 2 professional.
I think he was a professional of another game as well.
Yes, he was. Trying to think of the game. Can't remember, but he won a WCG, I believe. He's just an absolute sicko. But he is over here looking to stay in WCS. Remember, the loser will get knocked out of WCS Challenge League. The winner will go on to play Revival for a chance to be in Premier League. Looking forward to this game. A very lucky scout to begin with. The Overlord going over to the right place. Select is going for Command Center first, so that's going to be spotted out very, very quickly here. JonSnow going for the very standard 15 hatchery into how many pools? We'll find out. Important to know, though, Select said he was a bit sleep deprived. Very unfortunate to hear that. But we could see the repercussions over in his match against Revival.
And
yeah,
right
Whirlwind.
now, we just see a pretty standard openings for both players. Nothing too special coming out. Select, I'm hoping to see some more solid play from him than we saw in the last series.
Me too. Hopefully it comes out. Now, I'm going to call you out, Ghost User. You're probably one of the cheesiest Zergs I know.
Thank you.
What kind of cheesy openings can you do as a Zerg player? Whether it's mid-game. I'm mainly talking about mid-game. I don't care about early game, because early game, it
Pretty
stinks.
mapped out.
It stinks. Right?
Yeah.
But what works at mid-game that you think Select would be pretty surprised about?
Well, that 11-minute, 11:30 Roach timing, Roach max, that's pretty good against a lot of Terran builds. Worst case scenario, you kind of back off your Roach Hydra and you have another shot. So you kind of have 2 to 3 chances to win if you do that. Besides that, I mean, you can rush for a quick Ultra List. And I mean, it works pretty well if Terran's not going drop heavy. You can do some other stuff too. I don't want to reveal all of my secrets.
Okay. Are there any map features on this map where you can take advantage of and really, I guess, exacerbate the effectiveness of your all-ins?
I mean, as a Zerg player, it's a pretty good map for all-inning in general. Just because, I mean, the third base is kind of exposed for a Terran player in this map. You can kind of come in from 2 different sides if you want. And, I mean, the gap between the main and the natural and the third base is pretty wide open. And it's a nice spot to engage, even if Terran has bunkers there to defend.
We've played many of times, and you've all-in me many of times on this map, and I think you're like, and I know it's coming, and you're still like at 80-90% win rate. It's insane.
It's a good map for all-inning.
Even when I get +2 building armor, too good.
Even when you get +2 building armor, that makes it take another 1 shot from a Roach to kill each bunker.
I know, man. It's getting kind of crazy, man. But those Zerglings, they get chewed up pretty easily. Now, Marines getting into the bunker. I liked what Select did, just very, very subtle, but he kept his Marines on the high ground over here in case Zerglings came at a really unopportune time. That way he maintains them, but now he transferred them over as soon as the bunker finished. Going back and forth, not losing much. Select showcasing some great micro. Hey, look at this micro. Do you know where he learned this? Dota 2.
That must be where he learned this.
That must be where he learned it.
And I'm not sure where JonSnow committed to 8 Zerglings like this. It's tough to get too much done. I mean, he killed an SCV, maybe 2 SCVs, but he's going to lose these 4-lings. Oh, he's going to get a Marine too. So, I mean, it's not that good of a trade. I think that I would have rather had those be drones, but yeah. I guess it's better that he got an SCV and a Marine than that he got nothing.
29 to 25 Harvesters, so Select did a great job so far, and as you said, 3 SCVs that were killed from that engagement. So, Select in a reasonable position, I think. Third command center goes down. Okay, here's the real question, right? We saw Select play against Revival. We saw JonSnow play against Tasia. Who's the better fit against Revival? Who has the better chance at taking him out?
I'd say JonSnow does. At least if Select's play in the last series is any indication, I think Revival kind of dispatched him pretty easily. Even when Select had a pretty large advantage with that 2 racks in the first series, Revival still just came back, and I mean, Select in the mid game didn't look all that solid to me in the TVZ matchup. And I've played JonSnow in the past, His EVZ style is very cheesy. It's very aggressive with Ling Bailing.
Yeah.
And I think there's a decent chance that it could work. I mean, I still favor Revival for sure, but maybe 70-30. And I think I'd give Select only 20% chance or so of
So
winning.
80-20, yeah. So that's a whole 50% greater chance that Select has, or excuse me, JonSnow has over Select based on your calculations. Okay, I'll go with that then. Based on those. I don't know, it's tough to say. I mean, Select is just such a wild card to me. Yeah, the first 2 games seemed a little bit shaky, but you know, anything can still happen. We'll find out. Select is active with his first 6 Hellions, switching over. Everything looks pretty standard. Liking it. Getting his additional gases.
JonSnow looking like he's going to go for a timing attack. 14 roaches in production now. That's not defensive roaches, or if
No.
it is, it's the craziest amount of defensive roaches I've ever seen.
There's no lair tech. That's a clear indicator that this will be a Roach and Zergling Bailey all-in. Unfortunately for Select, look at this. The Hellions are over at the 3rd base. I mean, you do want to do pressure, but this has to be a retreat, not an entrance. So you want to come in from here and then attack around, because now he's so late to see these roaches incoming.
It's going to be a
and he
tough
has a
one.
single bunker. It takes 40 seconds to make these. I think JonSnow is going to be able to walk up and just crush, unless Select can buy a little bit more time.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that, I mean, JonSnow can break through this bunker and just take the game. I mean, that's a lot of roaches.
That is a lot of roaches.
He's kind of engaging before all the roaches have arrived, though. I don't know why he's splitting off roaches to the 3rd base. You need them all at the front, JonSnow.
Yeah, he does. He needs that extra DPS, and he's not taking down. He needs to be taking down these SEVs, but he hasn't been targeting them at all.
I think
Still focusing on this bunker. This is a hero bunker. Sweet Jesus.
this just looked kind of silly. I think JonSnow, he should have just had all 14 roaches walk up that ramp, try to target on the bunker
Yeah.
with Zerglings attacking the bunker,
gosh.
and then all roaches.
Yes.
And if you can't do that, then start killing the SCVs. Because, I mean, at this point, he's still targeting the bunker, he's not going to kill it. Now he's targeting SCVs, but this hasn't worked at all.
No, it hasn't. 12 total SEVs killed. It's 9 in this engagement. And for that many roaches, look at that, 65 to 45. Yeah, it's not. I mean, the Zerg still has that advantage in the amount of workers, but the tech is so far behind. Spire tech just now going down, and it's 10 minutes and 45 seconds in. Along with that, Select just doesn't have to worry about a lot of different, you know, strengths. I mean, because you see so many roaches out in the field already, you're thinking, well, 1-1 can't be at the right time. I'm going to have a 1-1 timing, which is correct. I'm going to have that advantage in Baneling speed. They can't get the Banelings out in time. That is correct. And even at Spire Tech, as I was saying, it's going to be a lot weaker. You can see JonSnow does have a big bank of gas right now, but it's 11.5 minutes. It's the game. We want those mutas out ASAP. So it's really unfortunate. The effects of what we just saw, the effects of that push are now being realized in the mid game, and Select should be able to just start supercharging the attack and do some damage.
Yeah,
He should be able to, but he needs to go.
these spawn positions, I think, are pretty good for JonSnow, though, and that'll help him defend a little bit. His 4th base is pretty far away from Select. It'll be tough for Select to do a push towards that base. I think Select would actually want to just push the natural and drop the 4th base in this case.
Unfortunately, Select is missing a little bit of its timing. As you can see, 1-1 just about to finish. So, you know, with this passivity, maybe, well, for sure, JonSnow is now in a good position. Like, all of those just flip because it gives him the time. Centrifugal hooks just about a minute away from finishing. And it's going to take a lot longer than a minute, I think, for Select to take map control, kill a lot of Creed tumors, and then engage against somewhere where it's useful, which is going to be this 3rd base. So JonSnow, great recovery so far, has mutas on the way out, 26 Zerglings. He's pretty much done in droning. Income tab showing 67, so he's looking for a very, very fast amount of a max out army.
Yep, and Select, I mean, I feel like his macro or something must have gone a bit wrong for him.
He was supply capped a little bit here. They can't. Yeah, he gets a little bit of a surround from some of those units, but there's too many units behind that, so Select will be able to defend here. JonSnow.
JonSnow can maybe push in with these Banelings, though. I think Select only looks like he has maybe 1 mine to defend that 3rd base.
That would not be a good situation.
Oh, and
2
JonSnow's
mines,
going
yeah,
for it.
that's not going to be great. But great splits. This is something that we can expect from Select. Going to target down the Banelings. Look at that. Select able to easily fend that off. But at the natural base, that's getting a little bit ravaged. The SCVs on the line are getting attacked, and now the Banelings rolling in. Select will manage to get away, but the Muta sprinting on over. The Banelings now getting close to these Marines, so it just gives a little bit more way for these Mutas to take charge and do damage. Now finally going to back up here. Economic damage has been done, still at the third base. Bunker will save him here. Let's take a look. 23 total SCVs being killed, 56 to 67. It's not that bad for Select just yet, but he does need to get on the map. 2-2 on the way. 2-2 already finished for our Terran player. So that's going to give him the ability to, again, have that timing. I mean, he did research 2-2 immediately when that 1-1 finished.
He just doesn't have that many units, though, right now. I think, although he's pushing with some bio, I think JonSnow should have enough units to defend this with no problem. And, ooh, not repairing that missile turret. I think that's a big mistake. He could have easily repaired it. There's not that many mutilates out yet.
Yeah, and the Marines don't know what to do. They're still staying in limbo. Additional mutas are being rallied all the way over hold position to kill some of those SCVs, but now finally just coming back all the way. And as you said, he doesn't have enough material to really make anything of these timings that he should be able to hit, but because of, you know, a series of events, he just doesn't have enough Marines and not enough mines, not enough medevacs to deal with the constant aggression, the mobility.
And I think JonSnow is going to be doing another timing attack shortly. He actually switched back into roaches, and I think we're going to see a big roach-laying speed bailing attack coming out.
Yeah, this is interesting. What do you make of this? Because I know we have seen this in the past. I mean, the mutas do a good job at like cleaning up Widow Mines a little bit better, and then you just have that raw power. Is that going to work here?
I think there's a good chance it'll work if he attacks when he maxes. If he uses it defensively, then I'm kind of confused about the roaches. I think if he uses it for aggression, as soon as he hits like a max supply, then it could work out pretty well for him.
He is going for that killing blow, that's for sure, because if he's long-term oriented, he's looking to just go increased amounts of muta counts. And he is, wow, 7 mutas on the way too. That's going to improve his count to 20, so I guess the muta count isn't all too high. But Select still has a lot of chances here as a medevac will fly over to the top, middle loaded with 8 Marines, and meanwhile going into the middle of the map. Still a lot of creep to clean up. Roaches, Zerglings, and Banelings over in the bottom middle side waiting for some sort of inevitable attack from the Terran player. 3-3, where is it at? Almost finished, so that's where Select is really waiting for. That'll be a great little trigger to give him the ability to just defend against a lot of this shenaniganery. But here the attack comes in, and will Select be able to defend this? Nice Baneling, or nice mine shot. Wow. And so far so good. This looks like it's doing 0 damage. Sweet Jesus. And 3-3 about to finish. That's going to be the trigger. But
maybe.
Yeah, it's
looks like
still...
These mine hits were about as good as you can expect them to be.
Yeah.
I think actually they're better than you would normally expect them. So I mean, I just don't think Select had as many units as he should have.
That's true. I mean, that's what it still comes down to. Select doesn't have the material. He doesn't have the Marines, the Marauders.
Look, the mutas are targeting down every SCV preparing this bunker. So he's keeping the bunker alive, but he's losing every single worker at that base.
54 total workers killed. Now the bunker goes down once every single SCV has been eliminated. Widowmine will connect on some of those roaches. Finally cleans it up, and as you said, Select had probably the best mine connections he could possibly ask for, and it's still not enough. His macro is not able to keep up with JonSnow's. Unfortunately, just too much passivity in mid-game has led to this situation, right? Like,
and medevac drop from Select just got cleaned up by the 4th base of JonSnow. Didn't do any damage. And after this, I mean, JonSnow, he has his hive going up. He wasn't all in at all. And I think he has an enormous lead right now in the game. Select, although he's resaturated his 3rd base, I mean, he has no 4th command center in sight, and his army isn't that large either. So.
Yeah. I mean, he does have 3-3, but that's so meaningless right now with 138 supply to
Yeah,
178.
I mean, upgrades are good, but you need the units. I mean, that's what they're good for.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely so. But now going into the 4th base, maybe Select can get something done here. If he maintains his 3rd base somehow, well, not somehow, he will be able to do that. If he maintains his 3rd base and just starts denying some expansions, one bad fight without mutas here, he will be able to pick up every single time, although, never mind, there are a lot of mutas here. We're going to find out how well Select can engage here, as he is just picking up and getting the heck out of here. Oh, Baneling connection, excuse me, Widowmine connection could have been a lot better, but...
Yeah, not hitting any of those Baneling clumps. It looks kind of scary.
Yeah.
For JonSnow, I thought those Widow Mines might hit all of the banelings, but none of them connected.
And
now he might lose all of these Marines and medevacs.
Well, he's losing the Marines. Will he lose the medevacs?
Well, that speed boost isn't going to last much longer.
Nope. And these Halloween-themed HP medevacs will go down.
And just look at the supply now. But 100 for Select, 170 for JonSnow. He has his third level of upgrades and an Ultralisk Cavern underway. I think it's JonSnow's game to lose at this point.
I do too. I mean, JonSnow played this out very, very well. Even with the early game aggression, he went down pretty severely, let's be honest. I mean, that attack just did not work out at all. Netted very small amounts of SCV kills, and then from there, he was just playing from behind, but just going macro mode and keeping up with Select. I mean, this is one thing that we're always critical on Select of. Ever since the Wings of Liberty days, can he keep up in macro? And a lot of times he's shown yes, he can, but this game has been evidence that he still needs to increase it.
He was in such a good spot after that failed Roach attack early on, too.
Yeah.
14 Roaches, so many Zerglings. They barely killed any SCVs, and I mean, right after that was done, Select had his third base up. So I think it's after this point that something went wrong for Select.
Bunker is going to be taken out here once again, now moving into that center position, as you were talking about in the pre-show. But, as you said, it's just right now JonSnow's game to lose. He's just amassing the right units. 40 Zerglings on the way, Ultralisks on the way. He's getting his upgrades, as you said, +3/+3, chitinous armor on the way. And once he actually has those researched, he'll just push in for the win. I mean, Select cannot keep up with this type of economy,
Select, he has almost no Marauders as well. So if you look at his standing army right now, it's only Marines and some Widow Mines, and this isn't going to do very well against an Ultralisk army.
Even if somehow Select is able to clean this up, it doesn't matter, because you can't stand up to the constant waves of the Zerg.
And he's not going to be able to clean this up with what he has. These
are
only Marines.
The Widow Mines get taken out immediately. There are some good Widow Mine hits, but you can see the Ultras are too sturdy.
Look how silly these Marines are. They can't do anything against Ultralisk.
Definitely a lot harder. GG gets called out, and JonSnow will take game number 1 over Select. JonSnow looking really good. Now he's only 1 game away from taking the series. Of course, this is a best-of-3. Loser here gets knocked out of Challenger League. Winner here goes on to move and play against Revival. Remember, there is a bounty on Revival's head, 500